When you load a spectrum image into RSpec, you may find that the spectrum is running at an angle like this rather than horizontally. Now that's because the star analyzer wasn't screwed in quite correctly. This image shows an alignment marking on the star analyzer. When you screw the star analyzer into your camera nose piece or your filter wheel, make sure that line is oriented to the west when your camera is looking at the sky. We've seen in the past how you can use the rotate button to rotate the spectrum, but there's now an easier way to do that. Come up to the star and hold the Alt key on your keyboard down, and then left click and hold, and then drag the mouse until the line is parallel or going through the spectrum, and let go. You can see the spectrum is now horizontal because the software rotated 5.5 degrees. So this is a second way to reorient the spectrum. In the long run, it's a good idea to get your grating screwed in so that you don't need to use the rotate command, because in some rare occasions, rotation can introduce some minor artifacts in your spectrum. But this isn't a critical issue. For now, just leave the grating oriented the way you've got it and use the rotate features in the software. And then over time, if you feel the need, you can fix the rotation in the grating rather than software. You know, in almost every case, our spectra aren't going to cover much of the sensor at all. And that's especially true if you're using a DSLR, for example, that has a large sensor. So this area here and that area there show up on the graph without much interesting information. So we can cut that information off and speed things up and reduce file sizes. Another way of looking at this, let's look at the pixel axis over here on the graph because we haven't calibrated yet. We can see the image goes up to 5,000 pixels, which means we're carrying around 25 million, that's 5,000 squared pixels. Let's look at how we can shrink the image. Come up here, hold the Control key down and the left mouse button, and then drag the mouse around the area that we want to sample, eliminating the rest. This is called cropping. Once we've done that, come up here to this Crop Image button and click it. Now you can see in that image that all of that extra space at either end are gone, and also the rotation is turned off because it cropped it to the orientation we were seeing. And over on the graph, we can see our image only goes up to 3,000 or so pixels, which is 9 million pixels when squared for a square image. So now we're carrying around only 3,000 squared or 9 million pixels as opposed to 5,000 squared, which is 25,000 pixels. So that's almost 3 times faster. And you'll notice that when you're rotating or moving the orange lines, that a smaller image runs more quickly. If you make a mistake cropping, you can always come down here and click on this button and roll back to the original image. And finally, last year we introduced our periodic table of Spectra Poster. It's a 2x3 foot poster. It's laminated with brilliant colors, and it's been really popular here in the US. Unfortunately, we were never able to find a way to ship it overseas economically. Well, we've now found a way to print it overseas and ship it anywhere in the world economically for just $6.95 shipping cost, plus the $29.95 US dollars for the poster itself. The only difference between this poster and the one that we've been supplying in the past is the international version that we ship outside the US is not laminated. It's still got the beautiful colors. It's really striking, and like I said, it's really popular. So if you live outside the United States and sometime over the last year you thought about buying the poster, but when you saw that it was going to be almost $30 to ship it to you, you were shocked and gave up. I was shocked too. And that's why I'm happy to be able to offer the poster with such great shipping rates worldwide now. So check it out if you're still interested. And as always, I want to thank everybody for your support and for your wonderful use of the software. The things you send me, and I hope you'll continue sending me, are always exciting to see. I know the software can always be improved, and if there's things bugging you or new features you'd like to see, let me know, because I'd like to add them. Thanks again.